Okay, I want to begin by saying that the absolute guru, or we sometimes say ultimate guru, is our own potential for enlightenment. This very, very important point. This is the essential nature of our mind, which is normally hidden from us. That's the problem. The problem is that we don't know it, we don't see it, usually. And so the external guru has the role or the job to point it to us so that we can then see it or experience it, and then we can develop it ourselves until we become enlightened. So we can say the absolute or ultimate guru is our own potential enlightened mind, which is called Dharmakaya. Right now, we don't have the full Dharmakaya. We have what's called basis Dharmakaya. The basis Dharmakaya all beings have, all living beings have. Even animals, they have it. In the animal form, they can't really develop it because they can't practice. So the human beings are very fortunate, we can practice. Now, the guru is like a mirror to show us our essential Dharmakaya. And in order to feel confidence that the guru can show it to us, we need to project or impute to the guru the result Dharmakaya. In other words, the result Dharmakaya can show us the basis Dharmakaya and also show us the path Dharmakaya, which is how to purify the basis and develop all the qualities until we ourselves achieve the results Dharmakaya. So we look to the guru as being fully enlightened in order to trust and have confidence in that mirror that it can genuinely show us what we can become. But the whole purpose is our path, our practice. Not for selfish reasons, though. Not just for me, but so I can benefit all beings. In fact, to become enlightened, we need to have that motivation. So, the starting point is compassion, actually. We're so aware of the suffering of others around us. It's not difficult. It's on the TV all the time. But also, it's down the street. It's wherever we go. It's in our family. It's in our garden. There are suffering beings everywhere. Sometimes we just close our heart because we feel, I can't do anything. It's understandable. We feel powerless to do anything. Especially, we see the problems of the world. We think, I can't do anything. Switch off. Actually, the more we develop compassion, the more powerful becomes our path to enlightenment. And when we are enlightened, we can do something. Even before we become enlightened. Just by practicing sincerely to benefit others, we will benefit others. Maybe in ways we don't understand. Sometimes just smiling at somebody in the supermarket is an act of kindness, because that person's having a bad day. Oh, a stranger smiled at me. It makes all the difference. We might just do it spontaneously. But if we develop compassion, we will be motivated to do those kind of things. And this comes from a guru or spiritual teacher, like a role model, somebody that we want to be like that. And we see this great kindness, this great love, compassion to all beings. Also, we grasp too much of me, me, me. This is called self-grasping or ego-grasping. And we see the Guru. The Guru is free of that. The Guru doesn't have any self-grasping, doesn't have ego-grasping. If the Guru says I or me, it's just a name. The Guru doesn't have this strong me feeling. You can tell when you meet those beings, like the Dalai Lama, we saw in the video. When you meet them, there's something very open about them. Then you can see, oh, I also could let go. I don't need to grasp like that. So when we talk about Guru devotion, the word devotion is for our benefit. It's not for the benefit of the Guru. The Guru's got his or her own practice. They have their own method to whatever they do. I mean, they just get on with it. They don't need you doing this all the time. They don't need that. But if it benefits your mind, of course you don't need to do the physical gesture. But in your mind, the devotion, this is what we're going to talk about. What kind of devotion is it? So there's 3 kinds that are mentioned. The first is carrying out the Guru's advice. Carrying out the Guru's advice. So when we have a teacher, let's just use His Holiness Dalai Lama as an example. It's quite a useful example because it's very unlikely we'll have a one-to-one conversation with the Dalai Lama. It's very unlikely. But that doesn't mean that we can't take the Dalai Lama as our Guru. We can, if we feel that reliance. If we feel that trust and confidence, and if we feel, I can see the Dalai Lama as fully enlightened. And also we feel the Dalai Lama really can benefit my mind by listening to his teachings, reading his books, whatever, then it's possible you can take the Dalai Lama as your Guru. It means that you feel this being, this person, really benefits your mind at a deep level. Not just intellectually, but deep in your heart. You can feel that something's changing in you in relation to that person. That is one of the signs that person can be your Guru. Then you think, well, I can never have a personal conversation with the Dalai Lama. However, many people go to the Dalai Lama's teachings and they have a question in their mind and somehow it gets answered. This is one of his qualities. So many people say that something's happening. Something's happening. It's clairvoyance. He is tuning to everybody in the audience, even thousands of people, and responding to what their needs are. Also, many people, including myself, have dreams where they have conversations with the Dalai Lama. And you ask him a question, and you get answer. Or you receive some teaching. And many of these kind of things happen. Also, when you have a deep Guru devotion, sometimes you can meditate, and you can imagine a conversation, and a really good answer comes that you wouldn't think about by yourself. But because you are meditating a conversation with the Guru. So, carrying out the Guru's advice. So what is the Dalai Lama's advice? Well, first of all, kindness. It's very simple. This isn't big stuff. Well, it is big, but it's not complicated. Kindness. He says, my religion is kindness. He also said, kindness is more important than Buddhism. These are very useful things. Just remember that. My religion is kindness, and kindness is more important than Buddhism. So if you did take the Dalai Lama as your Guru, it's very simple. You have to be a kind person. You have to practice that. That can be quite difficult, can't
simple.
it? It's difficult, isn't it? Especially with people that we find difficult. Especially in our family. Or at work. There's always one person who really gets to you, that annoys you. When somebody annoys you, try to be kind to them. See what happens. train yourself to react with kindness, especially if somebody is difficult to you. Especially, even more than the person who's nice to you, the person who's difficult to you. Train yourself to be kind to that person. So what does it mean to be kind to some? Supposing somebody's always angry with you, how can you be kind to them? Well, they're angry with you because they want you to do something that you're not doing. So you can maybe find a way to do at least a little bit of what they want. Instead of reacting and saying, I'm not going to do that. Say, oh yeah, okay. Or another thing you can do is somebody is harsh towards you, say, bring them some biscuits. Bring them some flowers. Offer them some tea. You can do that. You can do that. Maybe the person who lives next door to you is causing you a lot of trouble. Invite them round. Offer them some tea. Of course it's possible. But it's very difficult for us because we are programmed to react. So the teaching, my religion is kindness, is the training to react with kindness. This is just one simple example. Carrying out the Guru's advice. I mean, of course, there'll be many other examples. It depends on you. What you really take to be the advice, personal advice to you. It depends on what kind of person you are. Sometimes you take the advice to be more generous. Sometimes you take the advice not to get angry. There's many different things. Maybe you're a proud person. You find it hard to be more equal to people. You always want to be superior to them. We're all different. What is our problem? The Guru's teaching is something where we get advice on how to be, and then we try to train ourselves. And try to do it with a thought of devotion or service to the Guru. We use this word service. This is quite difficult for some people, the idea of being a servant. I'm not going to be a servant. That's not me. Okay. So service, actually, there's many people who work in restaurants, waiting at tables. They have to be good at service. So we should be like that towards all sentient beings. Seeing, what do you need? How can I help you? If you get criticized, oh, I'm sorry, I'll try and put that right. This kind of attitude is called service. Service to the Guru means, as was said in the meditation, whatever good action we do, we offer it to the Guru. For example, helping to create this group. This group is giving access to Dharma to people. Some of you here are helping organize the group. You can either just do it as a job, or you can offer it as service to the Guru. It depends, it's up to you. But if you offer it as service to the Guru, it becomes much more meritorious. It becomes much more positive potential, more virtuous than if you just do it as a job. Of course, both is good. I'm not saying that. Even you make a cup of tea for somebody, offer it as service to the Guru. It's perfectly possible to train your mind like that. Then your whole life becomes service to the Guru. It can happen. It can happen like that. The second one is offering respect and service. So I've been talking about offering service. It's very practical. Sometimes you can actually do it physically. Like we saw in the video, this young woman who's a nun now, but she said at the beginning, she said that she used to do drugs and all this kind of thing, and she nearly lived on the streets and all that. She's called Holly, by the way. She's called now she's called Venerable Holly, but she prefers to be just called Holly. And she's a really special person, actually. Well, this video was made in 2003, and so 13 years ago, but she's still like acting as kind of secretary to Lama Zopa Rinpoche. So she has this opportunity to offer service directly to her guru, which is amazing. She's got really good fortune to be able to do that. And most of us don't have that opportunity. But I had the experience when our main teacher, Geshe Wangchen, was in London. There were once or twice I could offer some service. I was remembering today once, he'd finished teaching and he came downstairs to get his shoes, and I just bent down to help him with his shoes and did them up for him. It's very simple, but I would not normally do that for an adult. That is kind of very low kind of work. I would do it for my child, okay, that's different. But to do that, and he allowed me to do that. He would not normally allow anybody to do something like that, because he's also very humble. But he let me, because it's very good for my mind to do that. Once we went to see a movie, and we went all the way back to the car, and he said, "Oh, I left my umbrella." So I immediately jumped out of the car and ran all the way back and found the umbrella and brought it back to him. And I was thinking, these just small actions, this was an opportunity to me to practice service to my guru. And it gave me something. I mean, some people like Holly, they do that all the time. I didn't have that opportunity. But just to do that once or twice was very good. Yeah.
I just want to understand what's behind servicing the guru, because when you service other beings, like helping, and you do, it's like putting the guru above all other sentient beings, or what?
No. Even when you service other sentient beings, you can make that an offering to the guru. But when you service the guru directly, I can't explain it, but it's very close. It's very close. It's like when you take care of your own child. It's something very close. It's very intimate. And so it affects your heart very strongly. It's not like helping sentient beings who are suffering. It's not like that. This is more like just offering some small thing.
In order to
benefit your mind. To help your mind. That's the only reason. But of course with the umbrella, if he would let go of the umbrella, that's okay. But I thought, no, I will go and fetch the umbrella. That was good for my mind.
And developing the mind means get down with my ego?
Reduce your ego, develop your willingness to put yourself to trouble for another. Many different things coming from just one simple action like that. Many things.
Excuse me. What would have happened, and I don't say a guru could do something like this, but you bring the umbrella, and the person you brought the umbrella to says, "But I didn't ask you to do it. If I ask you, you go and bring the umbrella."
Then you say, "I'm really sorry. Would you like me to throw it away, or do you want to take it now?" I mean, you say something, but you apologize. I mean, there's no reason not to apologize. If you have devotion to that guru, and they react in some harsh way, you can say, "I'm sorry." And then later, when you reflect on it, you think, what was happening there? What was my guru teaching me there? I had some difficult experiences with one guru. I went all the way to Italy to a teaching, and I stood outside when the guru was coming out of the hall, and he looked right through me, like I wasn't there. I felt nothing. I was nothing. It was very disturbing, and it took me several years to work through that and understand what was really happening. So these things can be very powerful teachings, and some gurus teach like that a lot. And also, but gurus tend to teach different students in different ways. So I should also say some students get a lot of that kind of teaching, and they are the lucky ones. They're the lucky ones because there's many opportunities to learn from that.
But if you suffer from low self-esteem,
Then
that
the guru
type of behavior wouldn't be that.
The guru is sensitive to those things. I have some low self-esteem issues, and one or two of my gurus gave me a lot of warmth and encouragement and support because they know what I need. But if, as a result of that, I start to get the opposite, then they ignore me. I had that experience with one guru. One guru gave me 2 bits of, wow, they really think I'm okay. Made me feel good. The next time, I thought, oh yeah. Just walk right past me. So this is the way that you can, there's many ways to learn. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So then the final one is making material offerings. And actually, the guru doesn't want material offerings, but you can make material offerings. The main offering is practice. So the main offering that you give is you offer your practice to your guru, but it also can be appropriate to make material offerings. For instance, whenever I went to India to see my guru when he was in the monastery, I would get as much money as Shan and I would agree for me to take, because it has to come out of our bank, and take it in notes, English notes, and just give him an envelope with a lot of money in. And I knew that he would use that money for very good things, very good purposes, which I don't have the chance to do. And also it was good for me to just let go of that and sort of just give it. It's up to you. So these are all different ways of offering, of devoting to the guru with action. Okay, so there are various actions you can do. Yeah.
The acknowledgement, for example,
Yes.
is a kind of a offering.
Acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Could you say what you mean,
For example, if you have a question,
Yes.
and he has an advice for you,
Yes.
and you do what he says,
Yes.
and you succeed,
Yes.
and you're happy.
Yes.
So you call him, and
Yes.
you say,
I did
thank you
that.
for advising me like that,
Definitely.
and you acknowledge him.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. You can write to your guru or, contact your guru and say, I did this for you. You can say that. Very nice. Yeah.
I think that the problem with dealing with the guru is that we move very quickly from 2 points of view.
Yeah.
We need a concrete guru in order to develop. But the concrete guru is not important.
In one
No,
way.
it is very important, but he's not important because he is a representation of something else.
That's
so
true.
whenever we are against the devotion, it is the voice that says, who is he that I will give him that? But the minute that you understand that he is a representation of something more than that,
Yes.
you can do it and then you develop. So
Yes.
there is a friction all the time.
There can be, if you have that problem.
Normally, yes.
Yeah, you have to let go of that.
Yeah.
And when you say representation, that's one way of saying it, but you can also say a channel.
Okay.
That the guru is the channel for enlightenment to come to you. So, but yeah, it's good to, when you say concrete, in terms of being a human being, or, looking like this and this and this, walking, needing to transport, you can drive the guru, all those kind of things. Yes, it's concrete. But all the time when you're driving the guru or helping the guru in these concrete ways, always think this is not really an ordinary relationship. Always be aware, this is my path to enlightenment. this work I'm doing here is helping me forward, then it's okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So, sorry, I'm still
That's
a
okay.
bit confused. So the offering is practicing generosity
Or whatever, yes.
and practicing putting myself of my ego lower in order to exercise on my ego, rather than I'm asking about the offering itself because it disturbs me. It probably has an issue. I have an issue with that. So because I could do offerings to sentient beings to help them and do that for the sake of sentient
you can
beings.
you can just do the work for sentient beings, and you can feel my guru is an enlightened being, and all that my guru wants is to benefit sentient beings. So when I go to benefit sentient beings, I am doing the work of my guru. It's like when you work in an organization. You might go to the boss and say, oh, I did this job, I did this to fulfill your business, or to do what work you asked me to do. So it's the same with the guru. All the guru wants us to do is to benefit sentient beings, and to become more and more capable to do that. So that's our offering. That's our service. That's fine. We don't have to go and give things to the guru. If it suits you more to benefit sentient beings, but offer that as service to the guru, that's fine. I think that's better for you.
Yeah, but I'm asking about the offering to the guru is aimed to lower the ego. I mean, why do I need to offer to the guru? That's what I'm trying to do.
Remember, the absolute guru is our own Dharmakaya, which we will become. When you offer to the guru, you are helping to advance towards the Dharmakaya. The guru looks like external. The guru is not really external. It's like an image in the mirror.
I understand.
It's not really external. It's ourself we're looking at, our future potential. Something like that. That's one way that you will recognize your guru, is because they inspire you to think, wow, I could go there.
Yeah. When I met Genla, at 11 o'clock there would be 60 people prostrating. And then at 5 o'clock I would meet him personally. So I would come in and try to prostrate. And he would say, no, don't do that. And I asked the permission to do that for myself.
Yes.
Still, he didn't quite allow me. He was still sort of pushing away. It took a while until he really accepted that I come in. In the morning, everybody prostrate. But when we meet only one-on-one, don't do that. Because he doesn't need that. I need that. Not just to bash my ego, that's not the whole point. That's probably part of the point, but it's not just that. I mean, what he is giving me in this 1 hour is so precious. I have to set up my own mind to accept that.
Yes.
We are talking all the time, what do people feel towards the gurus? Question, did any guru write his memoir or anything, or book? What does he feel? Is there a book? Is there somewhere to read? What do guru feels?
Not much, but I know Lama Zopa Rinpoche once, I was told this, I wasn't there, but he spoke about the responsibility of the guru. And he said, it's very, very big responsibility.
Probably.
Because you are making a commitment to this person that you will support them and take care of them until they become enlightened. So it's not just this life. The guru is saying, even if it takes billions of lifetimes till you become enlightened, I am with you all that way. And in the case of someone like Lama Zopa Rinpoche or His Holiness Dalai Lama, they are guru to thousands of people. So they carry a very big weight.
That's what you say or what they say?
That's what Lama Rinpoche said.
Only he spoke about it?
Well, they don't usually speak about that. It was quite unusual that that was spoken about.
So that what we are projecting on them.
No, not really. It's not just projection. I mean, you see, we're operating within a framework of Mahayana Buddhism, which is the Bodhisattva path. We're operating within a framework where these gurus have taken the vow of the Bodhisattva, which is, if somebody requests something, they give. Somebody I met went to see one of their gurus and requested some particular practice. And he said, well, I have taken the Bodhisattva vows, therefore, because you requested this, I have to give it to you. So we know that this is what is binding those beings, is that they have to respond with compassion if somebody needs something. And those ones like Lama Rinpoche, they are surrounded all the time. I mean, he hardly sleeps. He's dictating letters to people all over the world, a lot of the night, and so forth. Those ones, they work tirelessly for sentient beings. So you can see it's very, very hard work, but you also see they enjoy it. It's what they want to do, it's what they choose to do. They're not sort of moaning about it, they're not complaining, but nevertheless you can see they work very hard and they carry a lot of responsibility.
Is there a formal vow that they take?
Not different from any bodhisattva.
So they take on their own this vow?
They do the same as us. Same as us. Same as us. Ayelet and then Nissim.
I have a question. What is better for my enlightenment? Because usually, for instance, I dedicate the energy, for instance, of this session to someone I know who is in pain or sick. And I will say that I should dedicate it for the Guru. So what is better?
Oh, you should do both.
I should do both.
And also, not just one person who feels pain.
No.
See, that person is an example of all sentient beings who have pain. So, yes, you can focus on the one person, of course, that's good. But also then all sentient beings, and then also the Guru, for the long life of the Guru, and all the wishes of the Guru to be fulfilled. That's why, often they recite many prayers at the end.
We do all the time.
Yeah.
What I think helps me a lot with the teachers. I think I see all the teachers around, which are not gurus, as Lama Rinpoche or Tate Rinpoche or His Holiness, but all the teachers who come and teach us. And you see, the example they give with their generosity and being able to be humble and being patient and explaining the Dhamma, for me it gives a big espoir, on dit en français. No, espoir, tikva, hope. It gives a hope and a real connection to the teacher because it shows something very special about the teaching and about the teacher. Even though we cannot connect immediately to the teacher, we can look through the teachers how it goes along the line.
Well, probably they are serving their Guru
Yeah.
in what they're doing. So maybe there's some connections like that.
I keep thinking of this story because it's another nice story. It's not my story, but the person that told it was a nun at the time, and her teacher said, "Oh look, there are ants on these stairs, and people are walking, and you must stop people walking on these ants." And so it was baking hot weather. And she was standing there telling people, please be careful of the ants, please be careful of the ants. And this went on for little insects. And this went on. and on, and she was getting hot, and then she was saying, this is ridiculous, you know, starting to think, you know, how your mind comes up, this is just ridiculous, am I doing this for? So, you know, really starting to get worked up in her mind. And then her teacher came along, and he got a board, and he put it down across the steps, and he walked away again. And she just learnt so much from this, because you know, she was not thinking laterally. She was thinking, you know, what right, you know, expecting me to stand here in the sun like this is too much, you know, rather than thinking, well, maybe there's a way around this, maybe there's another option. Anyway, I like that story.
Thank you. It's a good story.
But it's true, it was true for the person that did it, and I liked it. Because it, yeah, I think I can recognise my mind getting locked into that same space. Yeah. And yeah, not helpful, and not able to, and not thinking, you know, she was recognising she really wasn't thinking in the end about the sentient beings, she was thinking of herself.
Exactly.
But herself is also a sentient being.
Yes, yes, yes. No, it's true. It would not have been wise to stand there and get sunstroke.
Exactly.
It was, would be daft, but actually there was another way around. It wasn't either or, you see. It was that there was a way of thinking outside the, yeah, more extensively.
I want to share, I mean, I feel that I have some kind of, how do you say it in a book, rejection about the issue of devotion, full devotion to the teacher. And that's why I ask those questions, because when I have a teacher and I do really appreciate and I see the beautiful work that they do, and I really want from my heart to give them as much as I can, and that's fine. But devotion is, I look at it as a commitment, as a full life commitment, and the issue really of thinking it of devoting myself to the teacher is that's exactly where the objections come. I'm trying to pinpoint where the objection is to the teacher. That's where I'm. But when I do it from a free willing, because I really feel like I owe him, it's okay. But when it becomes to be a commitment where I'm committed to be devoted to him, is where the problem, I think. And I think it deals with ego, maybe, I don't know. But it's something that it really disturbs. It's like, for me, prostrating is also very. I tell you what the problem is. You know, is for Jewish people, it's like when you do a work for other
God, but
Idols.
idols, but not idols really. Paganic gods.
I feel like I'm betraying.
I'm the Marcus of Paganic gods. All the gods are Paganic.
Yeah. Anyway,
Not
it's like betraying my own. I feel like I have two hats.
She's religious a bit,
Okay.
I am.
Okay, so let's just explore that a little bit. Supposing somebody has faith in the Jewish God, can they also have a guru who is from another tradition? Yes, a difficult one. I agree. I agree. You see, usually when the Dalai Lama goes to different countries, he recommends people to stay with their own tradition, because he knows that this kind of conflict can come up. And if you try to force yourself to follow another tradition, it could lead to some inner problems. So if you inherit a tradition from your family or your culture, and you have some emotional, devotion towards that, then definitely it's best to stay with that. Then doesn't mean you can't study, practice Buddhism, because it doesn't in many ways it doesn't contradict. But you're right. When you take a guru, then it's like the guru becomes the supreme in your life. So the only possibility is if you see the guru and God as one. It might be possible. But if it's not possible, it's better just to leave. Because you shouldn't have inner conflict. You shouldn't. It's not healthy for you. And it's good that you identified this, because you're being honest about what's really going on inside you. And I think you should just keep an open mind, and there's no pressure for you to take a guru. There's no pressure. You can serve sentient beings, following the Buddhist teachings, and offer to God. Offer service to God. Maybe God is your guru. I mean, it depends how you understand God. If you ask different people who believe in God, what is God, they will give you different answers, because it's kind of personal to each person. But for you it means something, and you shouldn't reject it. It would be quite negative for you to reject it. And I'm saying that to anybody else who has the same feeling. I think it's very important. When you inherit a spirituality from your family and your culture, you should respect it. I mean, it's not that everybody wants to follow it. Some people, in my case, my father certainly didn't believe in any religion, and my mother only slightly. So for me, it was more open to find my own way. For many years, I was a complete atheist. I didn't believe in anything. I was a Marxist, actually, before I was a Buddhist. I think it's very important to listen to that voice. Yeah.
In our group in Somerset, we have someone who is a minister of the Church of England. And at a cathedral, he gives talks at the cathedral. He's quite a senior minister. But he's been coming to our group for 10 years. And he also gives some Buddhist talks. And one day I was in the cathedral showing a friend the cathedral. I heard him teaching, and I could hear the Buddhism coming from the sermon. It was very noticeable. But it, maybe not to the people in the audience. It was quite disguised. But I thought, I know what I'm hearing. So for him, and he's managed to, for himself, not find a conflict, this is he would say. But he doesn't have, as far as I'm aware, a personal guru in the Tibetan tradition. But I think he would manage it somehow. I think, for him it's not such an issue. But there are, I can see why there would be, it's not good to just make everything fit when it doesn't fit. That's also not helpful, just that we say, it's all the same. That's missing some things, isn't it? So it's really a personal thing, I think. I was thinking that quite often when we think of guru devotion, we think of, if we were an outsider to this group, you might think of really bowing and scraping. This is an expression of English expression.
Humiliating yourself?
Yes.
Yeah.
That kind of very, like I am nothing, I am everything, I must do what the guru says, I must, it's like... Yeah.
But this is not what has been...
This is not what we're talking about, completely not what we're talking about. Yeah. I just want to make that clear. Because it's an active choice to choose a guru in order to travel the path to enlightenment.
I'm okay with that. I totally understand that. I see the point. I think it's beautiful. It's just beautiful. The problem is the devotion that it has to be the full worship to your guru, and that's.
Devotion and worship are not exactly the same thing.
I know, no, but it feels like...
Devotion is more like when you're married.
Yes.
Are you devoted to your partner in a good marriage? I mean, some marriages are bad, obviously, but if it's a good marriage, then there's some devotion in both directions. And it's just basically that you give your heart to the other person. Now, the guru devotion is like that, only at the deepest spiritual level. It's a spiritual relationship. The marriage has got many levels. Maybe it has a spiritual level, but it's mainly emotional and also practical in terms of your life. But the guru one is not really about those things. It's about the deep spiritual connection.
Because of the pathway, and I understand that.
Yeah, but it's similar in that devotion just means opening your heart. It doesn't mean I'm nothing like that.
So why the offerings then? Why? That's what bothers me. Why everything has to be offered to the guru? Why can't I just leave the way they are? I mean, doing whatever I can, be devoted to my enlightenment through the guru as a reflection of my potential enlightenment.
Fine, that's your offering.
You don't have to do anything.
You don't have to offer anything materially. The main thing is to offer your practice. That's what you just said, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why can't I just benefit others and become enlightened? And that's the offering to the guru. That is the main offering, your practice. It says that in the teaching.
Nothing will make the guru happier than your practice.
That's right. That is the point. Really is the point. I'm not just saying that to please you. We said that already. We said that already. The main offering is practice. Other offerings are secondary. Really. Really. It's like when you're in a marriage, your main offering is your love. Then, if you make a cup of tea for your partner, that's something extra.
Oh, it's a reflection of your wow.
Whatever. But it's something you like to do, yes. Yeah. A reflection of your love, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We've talked about among ourselves. I think one of the problems with the term guru is because some gurus have exploited their rights. Yeah. And we both gave examples even from yoga and other alternative methods. So I think there's a big fear, but what I like about Buddhism, that especially about FPMT, that is clean. I think it's cleaner from these aspects. So I won't be afraid to take a guru because of these aspects. Maybe from other reasons, but not.
I think what you just said is very. I'm glad you mentioned it, because we haven't mentioned that in this program, and we should. Those ones who exploit are not actually gurus.
Exactly.
That is the opposite of a guru. But they call themselves gurus. They are saying to others, I am your guru, you follow me. That is the opposite. What we're trying to present here is something which is completely in the power of the student or disciple. That you say, even without expressing it, you are my guru. You say it in your heart. You don't even have to say your words about it. And that person just carries on doing what they do, which is benefiting, teaching, helping. If you ask a question, answering questions. Whether you call them your guru or you don't, they will probably do something similar. Because their commitment is to all sentient beings. So they just try to help where they can help. But the one who is exploiting, that person is very wicked, actually. It's something disgusting. And yes, it has happened. Not just in our culture. It used to happen in Tibet, or it would happen in China, or there's many, many stories about these things.
If the guru calls himself a guru, he's probably not.
I think that's probably right. Yeah, exactly, because that's not something that they do.
Absolutely not.
Okay, it's a time call. So I think we need to stop now, and we will dedicate